Hi guys, welcome to my first YouTube tutorial video. Oh, what that means is like I'm facing for the camera for the first time and I don't know how it's gonna come, so let's see. Okay guys, so in this tutorial what we are gonna talk and basically teach you guys about color correction and color grading. A lot of people gets confused between these two as one process, but it's not. And what that means is we should not be, mixing these two things together. I'll tell you the order. So color correction comes first and then we do color grading, one after the other. Okay guys, so let's see the differences between these two. So let's talk about color correction. So basically what that means is balancing all your footage from your camera so that it all looks same, like saturation levels, exposure and all that. While color grading on the other hand is giving your film a specific look, like most of the Hollywood films out there. So they all have some specific look like teal and orange. That is color grading. Okay, so guys, let's cut the chats and let's quickly dive into the first part of the tutorial, that is color correction. So guys, here we are in the latest version of Final Cut Pro and a project that I have already created for you guys. I have lined up 4 clips which are straight out of the camera. As you can see, none of the clips are color balanced or anything. So definitely there are inconsistencies in color, exposure, white balance between each clip. So we are going to balance all clips here so that all will have consistent properties. So let's start by choosing the first clip in the timeline. To adjust the color, let's go to the color inspector panel by clicking the top right color triangle icon. Inside you can see 4 different types of adjustment panels. First, let's start by choosing the color curves to get the white balance and exposure right. Before any adjustments, let's bring up scopes with RGB parade. This will help you get a clearer picture about levels of luminance, saturation, brightness which our eyes might not be able to see. As you can see in the scopes, the red highlights are slightly peaking more than the green and the blue. So let's bring down the red highlights a bit so that it matches with other color channels. Now the greens also seem to peak out. Let's bring the greens down. Now all the color channels seem to be uniform and the white balance appears to be neutral. But as a result, all the color channels also seem to peak out. This should only just touch the 100 mark. Otherwise some data in highlights will be lost. So we don't want that, okay? Let's bring down the overall exposure by clicking right here on the Luma curve and pull it down. As you can see, the color channels are dropping the exposure and now the overexposure is fixed. Now comes the next challenge, the shadows. The shadows look quite faded than the norm. So let's increase the shadows a bit, that means increasing the black levels by pulling the Luma curve down like this. Now you can see that the white balance, brightness and contrast levels are fixed. Except the last challenge. The footage seems to have quite less saturation since the filming was done with a specific color profile, which guys I'll definitely get into in another tutorial. So let's start fixing the saturation levels by going to hue saturation curves. So here in the panel, go to the hue versus saturation and let's increase the saturation by pulling this by a few notches. And now let's increase the skin tones a bit. For that, increase the orange versus saturation like this a bit so that the model's skin tone stands out. Now the clip looks more balanced and natural enough. Now let's copy the same corrections to the rest of the clips. Just copy the reference clip on which we did the corrections. Now select the remaining clips. Let's go to Edit, Paste Attributes. Just select the effects alone and paste. Now the effects have been applied to the remaining 3 clips. But since each clip has different lighting conditions, we need to modify each set of effects on each clip. Let me quickly do that, guys. Okay, so guys, that's exactly how I do my color correction work for almost everything. Let's now talk about the second part of the tutorial. Oh wait, before we jump into this tutorial, let me talk about one thing that is quite key to the color grading tutorial. That is using of a LUT file or an LUT. What it's used for is like it helps us give a very specific look to your film in a very easy way. Let's now talk about the second part of the tutorial, that is color grading. Here we are back again to the editing application and we have all the video clips nicely balanced. Now let us start grading this by giving a unique look. So let's start with the first clip in the timeline and apply a LUT or an LUT to it. For that we have to go to the FX library on bottom right, choose color under FX like this. Now let's pick custom LUT from the list. Okay, now we have to drag and drop that effect into the first clip. Now you can see the LUT plugin is added below the correction plugins. So we have retained the order of processes like I told you before. Inside the LUT plugin, you can simply choose your LUT file from your Mac. In my case, the LUT files I previously used are already there and I'm gonna choose one of them. Okay, now the video clip attained a very different look. A very teal and orange kind. You can see the dark areas have a tealish color while the skin tones have a more orange hue. I think the intensity of the LUT is a bit too high, so let's reduce it as needed so that the subject and the skin tones look natural enough. Let's reduce that to maybe 0.55 by dragging the mix slider down. There is something you guys should take note. Never go overboard with your LUT's intensity. We do not want unnatural and fake looking subjects. Always use it at moderation. Now you can see the clip is looking decent enough. Now we have to translate the same into the remaining clips in timeline. So guys, you can see the different LUTs can give you different looks with so much ease. Now all the clips are graded and let me play the project for you guys. So that's how I do my color correction and color grading work. Basically, this is what I by and large do to my films. This is one of the most creative aspects in filmmaking. So I'm sure that all of you guys are gonna enjoy this. I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial. Guys, let's see you in the next episode. So till then, see you. Bye bye. Peace.